Sua pulled her in her embrace and started sobbing. Y or N couldn't hold her tears anymore. She started crying like a baby. Sua broke the hug and kissed her cheeks. Sua, my baby, why did you leave us? Did you have any idea how worried me and your father were? Your father literally went crazy to find you. Y or N looked at her father. For a moment she couldn't recognize him. It's like he got more wrinkle and gray hair in just a days. His eyes are red. YN dad? Adam, how are you, princess? YN jump on his arms. YN, I'm sorry dad. I'm so sorry. I should have run like this. I was so scared that I couldn't think properly. Adam caresses her hair. Adam, it's not your fault. Jiwoo and her son made you take this step. YN look down. YN, please come inside. Adam and Sue walk inside the small apartment. Adam, your bedroom is bigger than this entire apartment. Can't believe he made my daughter live in this small cage. Y or N, Sue, we know you moved in with Taehyung. YN widen her eyes. YN, I can explain. Adam, no need, we trust you. And we came here to take you back. YN, to take me back. Sue nodded. Sue, to our home. Y or N looked down at her stomach. Sue understand it. Sue, I talked to your father. If you want, you can keep the baby. We'll give our grandchild every happiness. YN's face lit up in happiness. YN, really? Adam, yes, you can keep the child. I will protect you and your child from Taehyung. Y or N, Taehyung, Adam, I will never let that boy's shadow fall on you too. YN dad, he's the father in my, Adam, he's no one but a spoiled brat. We'll help you to raise the child. YN, my child needs father. Adam, not a father like Jiwoo's son. Just then, Taehyung, come. Taehyung, Y or N, why did you keep the door open? He stopped seeing YN's parents. Sue, let's go. Y or N, don't look back please. We love you. Taehyung, YN, Adam, do not take her name. I'm taking my daughter back. Taehyung, no, you can't. YN, dad, I'm carrying his child. Adam, and do you want your child to grow up in poverty? YN, no dad, what are you saying? I want to give my baby every happiness. Adam, if you want to give your child a comfortable life, come with us. This bastard can't even pay your hospital bills. Y or N looked down. She knows Taehyung is just a student and doesn't have any job, and even if he finds a job it won't be enough for a family of 3. But on the other hand, if she go with her parents, they'll do everything to give her and the baby a luxurious life. Taehyung, Y or N, what are you thinking? You're not leaving me, right? She didn't answer. Maybe Taehyung can also give them a happy life, but then what about her parents? They come all the way here just to take her back. She's adopted, but they never make her understand it. They love her like a real parents, selflessly, unconditionally. How can she disobey them? She can hurt them anymore. Taehyung, Y or N, please don't leave me. I'm begging you. Taehyung's words stabbed right in her heart. He's begging, just to stay with him. This boy also loves her unconditionally. He left his family, his dream behind just to stay with her. He sacrifices a lot. He has so many dreams around her and the baby. She can't leave him. She can never leave him. But then what about her parents who raise her? What about the sacrifices they made while raising her? What about the sleepless nights they spend while she was sick? Y or N stare at her palms. Her tears are continuously falling there. YN, oh God, what situation you got me into. She thought but couldn't utter a single word. Her vision become blurry because of tears. Adam, let's go home, princess. I don't want to see his face anymore. Taehyung, home. This is her home. Adam, my daughter will never stay in a place like this. Taehyung, your daughter is my wife now. Adam, what did you say? He stormed towards Taehyung and held his collar, but Taehyung freed himself from his grip. Taehyung, YN is my wife, he said in a firm voice, looking directly into his eyes. Adam, showing true colors I see. Sue, YN, let's go back home. The situation is getting worse here. YN look up with red eyes. One by one her gaze moved to the 3 persons she loves the most. With her trembling legs she walked to Adam and Taehyung. YN, Mom, Dad, is there any chance to accept Taehyung? Adam, after whatever he did, I'd prefer to kill him, let alone accepting this bastard. YN look at her mother. She looked down. YN, I love you all. I love 3 of you more than my life. I'd die for you. I'm not saying it. I mean it. She gulped her saliva. But I can't think as a daughter or a wife. I've to think as a mother. and I don't want my child to grow up without father. Taehyung stared at her face. Sua's lips parted slightly. Adam frowned. Adam, what do you mean? YRN, I'm sorry mom dad, but I can't leave Taehyung. Adam, you're choosing him over us? He asked in a stern voice, making YRN tremble. Why they make her choose? She wants all of them, a happy complete family. Sua, YRN don't push us away. Her words make YN's heart bleed. She's not pushing them away. How can she? Adam, I get it. You're not our daughter anymore. Let's go, Sua. He walk away. Sua look at Y or N for one last time before following her husband. Y or N legs tremble. She fall on her knees. Taehyung run to her. Taehyung, hey, it's okay. I'm with you. YN started crying and screaming like a child. Her crying was so loud that it make the neighbors peek inside from the open door. But right now, she doesn't care about anything. She doesn't utter a single word. She have nothing to say. She just fail as a daughter. Taehyung, let her cry. Maybe it could help her to erase the pain a little. Taehyung cut some kiwis and placed the plate in front of YN. Taehyung, here, eat them. YN look at him. Her eyes are still wet. It turns red because of crying a lot. Taehyung saw emptiness in her red, teary eyes. YN, I am selfish. Taehyung, no, you're not. YRN, they raised me. They gave me everything I wanted without even asking. They loved me with their whole heart. They never make me feel down even though I'm just adopted. They loved me like I'm a part of them, but I pushed them away. Taehyung, you didn't push them Y or N. You just did the best for our child. Adam and Sua will surely understand you one day. They will accept us. Y or N, really? She asked with hope in her eyes. Taehyung nodded. Taehyung, they're just angry on us, but they still love you a lot. YN, he engulfed her in his embrace. She started sobbing in his chest. Few minutes later, she calmed down. Taehyung looked at her face and saw she fall asleep. He smiled a little and pecked her lips. YRN wake up with light headache. She opened her eyes hearing clinking sound. She peeked inside the kitchen, which is right next to their small bedroom, and saw Taehyung. YN, what are you doing? Taehyung, I'm trying to make dinner, he replied from the kitchen. YRN, dinner? She widened her eyes. What time is it? Taehyung, 6 in the evening. YN gasped loudly. YN, it's 6 already. Taehyung, today was our first day at new college. Taehyung, guess we skipped classes on our very first day, he said, placing the bowl of ramen in front of her. YRN, that's very bad. Taehyung, that's terrible. Taehyung, it's okay, calm down, we'll join from tomorrow. I talked to your dean and informed him that you're ill. YN, and what about you? Taehyung, me? That's a big institution. They probably forget my joining date. Now stop worrying and let's have our dinner. YN nodded, and after dinner they fall asleep while watching a movie. YRN, wake up. Taehyung, we're getting late. Taehyung, just 5 minutes. YN, you're saying this since 1 hour. Now wake up. Taehyung, fine. He climbed down from the precious warm and soft bed and dragged himself to the washroom. After taking a quick shower, he walked out. YRN placed a glass of juice and slightly burned toast in front of him. Taehyung yawned. YN, you have 5 minutes to get ready. Kim. Taehyung, yeah. He take a bite from the toast and started chewing them lazily. YRN scoffed and take out his t-shirt. She make him wear it while he was still chewing his food. YRN wiped his wet hair with the towel and started combing them. YN, don't move, she said, cupping his cheeks with her one hand. Taehyung, okay mommy. YRN done. Now let's go. Taehyung, wait. He dig inside his backpack and take out a box. Taehyung, here, take this. YN, a phone? Taehyung, yeah, it's not as expensive as the one you left at your parents' house, but hey, it's good for nothing. At least I could contact with you when we were away. YN, thank you. Taehyung, let's go. We're getting late, remember. Y or N look at the college gate and gulp. Taehyung, nervous? YN, no, I'm scared. New city, new college, new classmates. I don't know how they will be, and in the top of that you won't be there with me. Taehyung, everyone is not same. If there's a bad guy they will be also a good guy. Make friends with them, and if you need anything just call me, okay? Y or N, I just hope there's no Tiffany and Ryan there. Taehyung, just be positive. He kissed her head with a smile. Taehyung, Just walk in. Yn nodded and walked towards the gate. As soon as she crossed the gate, she turned around only to see Taehyung. He waved at her. She waved back with a small smile. Yn walked out from the dean's office after taking her locker keys and classroom number. She was looking for her class when someone bumped with her really hard. Yn lose her balance. She clenched her stomach and closed her eyes tightly, ready to fall when someone hold her shoulders to prevent her from falling. Oops, I'm sorry. Yn opened her eyes and saw a blonde girl. I'm sorry. I didn't see you coming. Oh God. Why I'm so clumsy, the girl said in one breath. Yn it's okay. Then she realized someone is still holding her shoulder from behind. That person saved her from falling. Yn looked back at saw a tall handsome man. He removed his hands from her shoulder. Are you okay? The boy asked with concern. Yn nodded her head. Then the girl spoke again. I never saw you before. Are you new? My name is Annie, by the way. Yn. Nice to meet you, Annie. I'm Yn. Annie. Such a cute name. Meet my boyfriend Rex, she said, pointing at the boy who saved her. He smiled at her. Rex, welcome to our college. Yn. But yeah, you should ignore Annie as much as you can. She's very clumsy. She roamed around the whole campus and kept hurting others and herself with her clumsiness. Annie, stop embarrassing me. Rex, it's you who always embarrass me with your clumsiness. You kept making others injured and I have to keep apologizing to them. They started fighting. Yn decided to leave as the class will start soon. Annie, wait, tell me your class number. I'll help you to find it. Yn, it's class 205. Annie's blue eyes shine. Annie, that's great. We're in same class. We can be friends. Come follow me. She started walking ahead while swinging her backpack in one hand. Suddenly one boy's face got hit by her backpack very hardly that his glasses fall. Annie, oops. Rex rushed to the boy and helped him pick up his glasses. Rex, I'm so sorry. Is it hurting much? Annie apologized to him. Annie, I'm sorry, she said in a low voice. Yn pressed her lips together, controlling her smile. It'll be fun to be friends with them. A luxurious car stopped in front of Elveris University. The boy come out from the car and the girls started screaming his name. He blow them a kiss. A girl run to him. Girl, this is for you, GK. He raise an eyebrow. The girl is offering him a merchandise from his favorite baseball team. He take the gift and wink at her, making the girl blush. This is Jeon Jungkook, the captain of the university baseball team. All the girls in the campus stroll over him. He's so famous here that he have his own fandom named Pink Bunny, and all of them are girls. GK walk in like he owns everything. He smirks seeing one girl. She's taking out her books from locker. GK, hey nerdy. She flinched badly hearing his voice. Don't call me nerdy. I've a name, she said while fixing her glasses. GK, nerdy sounds 10 times better than your real name, Sirs. Now tell me, did you do my assignment? Sirs gulped in fear and looked down. She stammered, Sirs, I couldn't finish it. I had some family issues. Jungkook's smirk vanished. He stepped closer to her. Sirs started backing away until she stumbled and fall on her butt. Jungkook bent down and snatched her water bottle, the plastic crinkling in his grip. GK, excuses, Sirs. That's all I hear from you. He appended the bottle, drenching her shirt. Sirs gasped, shivering as the cold water seeped through her clothes. Laughter erupted around them, a chorus of cruel amusement. Suddenly, a deep voice cut through the noise. That's enough. A hush fell over the crowd as Kim Taehyung stepped forward. His gaze, sharp and unwavering, locked onto Jungkook. He offered Sirs a hand. Taehyung, are you okay? Sirs, stunned, could only nod, accepting his help. A collective gasp rippled through the onlookers, even the pink bunnies momentarily forgetting their idol as they stared at the newcomer. Jungkook's face hardened, a flicker of something akin to disbelief in his eyes. GK, who do you think you are? Taehyung, I'm a man who respect girls. The crowd gasped. No one dared to talk back with GK. This new guy will die for sure. GK, do you have any idea who I am? Taehyung, you're a useless guy who couldn't do this own assignment. Now if you excuse me, I need to go. Saying that he walk away. Sirs doesn't want to get bullied again, so she run from there right after Taehyung left. Did you see that guy? One of JK's fangirl whisper. Yeah, he's so brave and handsome. GK glare at his pink bunnies and they stop talking. This is the first time his fangirls call another guy handsome. He clenched his fist. Jungkook swaggered into the classroom, his eyes scanning the room until they landed on Taehyung. A smirk stretched across his face. Jungkook, well, he drawled, sauntering over to Taehyung's desk. Jungkook, looks like our hero and I share a class. Let me give you a little advice, newbie. This is my territory. I run things here. He leaned in close, his voice dropping to a menacing whisper. Jungkook, you embarrass me in front of everyone. That has consequences, he continued, laying out a series of petty challenges, each designed to humiliate or intimidate Taehyung. Taehyung listened patiently, his expression unreadable. Finally, when Jungkook paused for breath, Taehyung simply said, Taehyung, I'm here to study. He opened his textbook and began to read, effectively dismissing Jungkook. A collective gasp filled the room. Jungkook's face flushed crimson, but Taehyung remained unfazed, his focus solely on the page in front of him. After classes, Taehyung went to pick up Y or N. He saw her standing at the entrance looking extremely tired. He walked close to her. Y or N noticed him and smiled. She hugged him. Taehyung, you're looking tired. Wait, I'll call a taxi. YN, no need. Home is close, let's walk. Taehyung, are you sure? YN nodded and they started walking holding each other's hands. Taehyung, how was your day? YN, it was fun. I make new friends, Rex and Annie. Both are so cute and funny. Everyone is very nice there. And how's your first day go? Taehyung, it was pretty challenging. YN, was it hard? She asked with concern. Taehyung, no, it's just the university is full of spoiled kids. YN, just like you. Taehyung, shut up, I've changed a lot. YN, not gonna argue with this. As soon as they got home, YN and Taehyung began making dinner together, the kitchen filled with a comfortable, familiar silence broken only by the sounds of chopping and sizzling. While they ate, they naturally began to share the day's experiences. YN, you won't believe who I met. YN started, recounting her encounter with Rex and Annie. She leaned forward, a smile playing on her lips as she described Annie. YN, she is so unbelievably clumsy. She kept tripping over nothing and almost took me out and another poor guy. Her boyfriend looked completely mortified. Taehyung set down his fork, his expression turning serious. Taehyung, if she's that clumsy, I honestly suggest you should stay away from her. YN, but she's so nice. Taehyung, I know, but you almost fell because of her, he countered, his voice firm. YN, it was just an accident. Taehyung, still, YN, you're pregnant and need to be careful. A fall is not an option, he stressed, meeting her gaze. YN, I will be, she promised, reaching across the table to squeeze his hand. YN, but Annie is genuinely sweet. I can't just avoid someone because they're a little accident prone. Taehyung sighed, a soft smile returning. Taehyung, I understand. Just promise me you'll watch your step around her. YN, I promise. Now, you were telling me earlier about some spoiled kid who caused trouble. Taehyung, yeah, I think his name was GK, Taehyung said, before launching into the frustrating incident he'd had at the uni. YN, had a jerk. Why didn't you just punch him on his face? She asked, her tone entirely serious. Taehyung let out a hearty chuckle, shaking his head. Taehyung, as tempting as that was, I didn't want to get suspended on my first day, honey. After dinner, the day's events finally caught up to YN, and she quickly fell asleep on the sofa. Taehyung covered her with a blanket, then quietly took his phone and began his routine of scrolling through job postings, the gentle glow of the screen illuminating his focused face. The blare of the alarm, a persistent shrill buzz, drilled into Taehyung's skull for the second time. He groaned, burrowing deeper into the pillow. Taehyung, YN, turn off your alarm please, he mumbled, his voice thick with sleep. Silence. The ringing didn't stop. He cracked one eye open. Beside him, YN was completely still, lost in a deep, peaceful slumber. He'd never known her to sleep so soundly. Annoyed, he reached across her, fumbling for her phone and silencing the insistent chime. He settled back down, sighing in relief as a wave of silence washed over him, and he drifted back into his own slumber. 30 minutes later, he snapped awake again. A glance at the clock sent a jolt of panic through him. 8:30 am. Taehyung, shit, YN, we're late. he called out as he scrambled from the bed and ran to the bathroom, splashing water on his face and quickly brushing his teeth. When he emerged, she was still lying motionless in the bed. Taehyung frowned, the annoyance from earlier replaced with a wave of concern. He walked over and gently shook her shoulder. Taehyung, YRN, we're getting late, she jolted upright, a strange dazed look in her eyes. She stared at him with a tired, confused gaze that was completely unlike her. He knew she was a light sleeper, a mere whisper could wake her. This wasn't sleep, it was unconsciousness. Something was wrong. Taehyung, hey, are you okay? He asked, his voice soft with worry. She nodded slowly, as if processing the question. YN. What time is it? She mumbled. Taehyung, 8:30. Her eyes widened in a sudden realization. YRN. Shoot, we're getting late, she exclaimed, throwing the covers off. She pushed herself up from the bed, but the moment her feet hit the floor, her body swayed and she fell back onto the mattress. Taehyung, what happened? He panicked, his hand instantly reaching out to steady her. YRN. Nothing, just a little dizziness, she said, her voice a little shaky. Taehyung, just take a rest for a while, he insisted, but she was already on her feet again. YN. No, I'm fine. She walked to the bathroom, her steps a little wobbly, and closed the door behind her. At the breakfast table, YN's morning sickness was at its peak. The smell of the simple toast and eggs on her plate was enough to turn her stomach. She stared at the food, feeling a rising wave of nausea. Taehyung, you have to eat something, he said, pushing the plate closer. She shook her head, her face pale. YN, I can't. Before he could protest further, she lurched from the table, hand clamped over her mouth, and made a dash for the sink. She leaned over it, gagging and retching, her body heaving. Taehyung was by her side in an instant, rubbing her back. Taehyung, that's it, we're going to the doctor. YN. No, she croaked, wiping her mouth. I don't want to miss classes, it's only the second day. Taehyung, classes can wait, your health can't. This isn't just a little morning sickness. YN. I'm fine. It's a bad day. I'll be okay. Please, Taehyung. I don't want to fall behind, she insisted, turning to face him. They argued back and forth, but he could see the stubbornness in her eyes. He finally relented, though his frown never left his face. Taehyung, fine, but you're not leaving this house without eating something. Seeing his defeat, she picked up an apple from the fruit bowl. YN. I'll eat this on the way, I promise, he sighed, knowing it was the best he was going to get. They walked out of the apartment together. As they walked to her campus, he watched from the corner of his eyes as she slowly, painstakingly, forced herself to take bites of the apple. She gagged a few times, her face scrunching up with every swallow, but she finished it anyway. Feeling the campus grounds sway beneath her feet, YRN stumbled forward, her head swimming with a dizzying rush of nausea. She squinted, the vibrant campus colors bleeding together into a blurry, indistinct mess. Annie, YRN, hey, a cheerful voice called out. YN's eyes finally focused enough to see Annie waving excitedly, her usual clumsy grace on full display as she hurried toward her. A faint smile touched YN's lips, but before she could return the wave, the world began to spiral. Black dots danced across her vision, multiplying and expanding until they consumed everything. The last thing she heard was Annie's shout of panic before her knees buckled and she collapsed onto the ground, unconscious. Annie gasped, stopping short just a few feet away. She stood frozen for a split second before her mind caught up, and she bolted to YN's side. Rex, Annie, what did you do? Rex's voice boomed behind her. He sprinted over, his expression a mixture of panic and frustration. He knew his girlfriend's clumsiness all too well. Annie, I swear, I didn't do anything. She fainted before I could even get to her, she exclaimed, her hands hovering over YRN. Rex's anger quickly faded into concern. He knelt beside YRN, his gaze sweeping over her pale face. Rex, help me, he said, and together, they carefully lifted YRN and carried her to the college nursing room. The nurse, a kind-faced woman with a no-nonsense demeanor, quickly took YN's vitals and performed a few quick checks. YN's breathing was shallow, and her face remained a sickly shade of white. After several minutes with no sign of her regaining consciousness, the nurse's expression grew serious. Nurse, think we need to call an ambulance. She needs to go to a hospital. As the nurse left to make the call, Annie reached for Wyan's phone. The screen lit up, unlocked, and she quickly scrolled through the contacts. There was only one number saved. Without hesitation, she pressed the call button. Meanwhile, at his own university, Taehyung had just stepped onto campus when a small figure ran toward him. "Sirs, thanks for yesterday," she said, her voice soft but sincere. Taehyung frowned slightly, taking a moment to recognize the shy, bespectacled girl he'd only met once. The brief encounter had been a blur of annoyance and adrenaline, but her grateful smile was enough to jog his memory, and he returned a small smile of his own. "Taehyung, no need to thank me for that." Just then, a sneering voice cut through the air. "Jungkook? Oh, so the nerd and our hero are friends now." Taehyung's head snapped up. Jungkook stood before him, flanked by his gang, a smirk plastered across his face. The air immediately thickened with tension. As Jungkook began to taunt them, Taehyung's phone vibrated in his pocket. He glanced down at the screen and saw Wyan's number. "Taehyung, hold on," he said, excusing himself from the conversation and answering the call. The words that came from the other end of the line made his eyes widen in pure horror. He hung up abruptly, his mind reeling. Without a word or even a backward glance, he turned and ran, his legs a blur as he raced outside the campus. Jungkook's smirk vanished. He balled his hand into a tight fist, watching Taehyung disappear from view. He had expected a fight, a challenge, anything but this. He felt a surge of rage, as if Taehyung had just dismissed him as a meaningless obstacle. Taehyung's messy steps halt in front of the campus gates. His heart hammered against his ribs as he saw an ambulance, lights flashing, and paramedics wheeling a stretcher toward it. On the stretcher lay Yn, her face ashen and lifeless. He sprinted toward them, his body fueled by pure adrenaline. "Taehyung, what happened to her?" he panted, reaching for her hand and gripping it tightly. Annie, though he didn't know her name, looked at him. "Annie?" She fainted suddenly, she said, her voice trembling as she stared at the concerned stranger who's probably someone very close to Yn. Taehyung didn't hesitate. He climbed into the back of the ambulance, never letting go of Wyan's hand. The doors slammed shut behind them, and the vehicle lurched forward, leaving Annie and Rex standing alone. Annie watched the ambulance until it vanished from sight, a knot of worry in her stomach. Rex wrapped an arm around her shoulders from behind, offering a comforting squeeze. "Rex, don't worry. She'll be fine." "Annie, I hope so," she whispered, her gaze still fixed on the empty street. The sterile smell of the hospital filled Wyan's senses as she slowly came to. Her eyes fluttered open to a blinding white ceiling. Confusion clouded her mind. She looked around the room, her gaze landing on a woman in a white coat. "Yn, what happened?" she murmured, her voice scratchy. The doctor gave her a gentle smile. "Doctor, just rest. You're in the hospital, but you're going to be fine." The door opened, and Taehyung rushed in. His face, a mask of sheer relief and worry, was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. He walked to the side of her bed and sat down, carefully taking her hand in his. He lifted it to his lips and kissed the back of her palm. "Taehyung, you scared the hell out of me," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. He turned his attention to the doctor. "Taehyung, is she okay? What happened? Is everything all right?" The doctor's smile widened. "Doctor, she's going to be just fine," she said, her eyes twinkling with a hint of amusement. "In fact, she's doing so well that she's carrying two babies." Taehyung and Yn froze. The words hung in the air, a stunning, life-altering truth.